Your cat heard the word treat just now, didn't they? You didn't even say it out loud, but somewhere in your home, a pair of ears just swiveled. Here's the thing, that's not a coincidence, and it's not just about food. Your cat has been quietly building a vocabulary of you, your words, your voice, your patterns, and most of us have no idea how deep it goes. 1. The name they know but don't always answer. Call your cat's name right now. There's a decent chance they looked up for half a second, maybe their ear rotated toward you, and then turned back to whatever they were doing. You probably figured they just didn't hear you. But here's what was actually happening. In 2019, researcher Atsuko Saito and her team at Sophia University in Japan ran a study that shifted how scientists think about cats and language. They played recordings for cats, similar sounding words, random nouns, and then each cat's own name. Every single time the cats responded to their name differently, not like a dog bounding across the room. Their ears moved, their heads shifted, their pupils changed. They heard it. They registered it. They just didn't act on it. Here's what that means. Cats weren't bred for obedience the way dogs were. Dogs spent thousands of years being selected to follow commands. Cats chose to live near humans on their own terms. That's a fundamentally different arrangement. When your cat hears their name, they're running a quick calculation. Is responding actually worth it right now? If the answer has consistently been warmth, food, play, and someone genuinely happy to see them, chances are they're already on their way to you, and their name is just the beginning. The last thing on this list might be the one that changes everything. Drop your cat's name in the comments and tell me, does yours actually come when you call, or are they running the calculation and deciding you're not worth it today? 2. The word most owners use wrong. Picture this. Your cat is on the counter, completely unbothered, making direct eye contact with you as they nudge your coffee mug 1 inch closer to the edge. You say no. They pause, they look at the mug, they look at you, and they push it anyway. Most people assume their cat just doesn't respect limits. The reality is more interesting. Cats do learn what no means. But research from Charlotte de Mouzon at the Université Paris-Nanterre found something that reframes everything. Cats don't respond to the word the way we assume. They respond to the tone, the emotional charge, and who is delivering it. When de Mouzon played recordings of owners speaking to their cats versus speaking to other adults, the cats only reacted to the owner-directed tone. Same voice. See, different intention. They knew the difference. What that means for no. It's not the word doing the work. It's everything wrapped around it. And if you use it constantly, loudly, for small things, your cat doesn't learn discipline. They start associating your presence with unpredictable stress. They hide more. They flinch more. The bond quietly erodes in ways you don't notice until it already has. The owners who get the best results use no rarely. Calm, short, firm, and immediately redirect. One clear signal, then move on. 3. The word that makes them teleport. You could be 3 rooms away, door closed, television on. You whisper the word treat, and before you finish the second syllable, your cat is already at your feet staring up at you like they've been waiting all day. This isn't magic. It's one of the most well-documented processes in behavioral science, and your cat ran the whole experiment on you without you realizing it. Over 100 years ago, Ivan Pavlov discovered that dogs would salivate just from hearing a bell. Not because the bell meant anything, but because it had been paired with food so many times that the brain built a direct automatic connection. The same thing happened with your cat and that one word. You said treat before giving them one, dozens of times, then hundreds. The connection got wired in. But most cats don't stop at the word. They build an entire chain of associations. The crinkle of a specific bag, the sound of a certain cabinet, the rhythm of your footsteps toward the kitchen at a certain time of night. The word is just the most obvious trigger in a system your cat built entirely on their own. And the same process works in reverse. Say vet near some cats, and watch the room empty. Same wiring, completely different direction. 4. The household map no one taught them. If you have more than one cat, try something. Say the name of one of them while you're in the same room as the other. Watch the one you didn't call. There's a real chance they looked up, maybe toward the door their housemate usually walks through. In 2022, a research team led by Saho Takagi at Kyoto University published findings that caught the animal cognition world off guard. They played a cat's name out loud while showing either the correct cat's photo or a completely different cat on a screen. When the wrong photo appeared, the household cat stared significantly longer, the reliable sign of expectancy violation in animal research. They knew the name, they expected a specific face. When it wasn't there, they noticed. And it doesn't stop with other cats. A follow-up study found that cats living with human families can also match the names of the people they live with to their actual faces. Your cat has been quietly building a social map of your entire household. Who's who? Which name belongs to which person? Nobody drilled this into them. They just paid attention to the patterns you were creating without knowing you were creating them. They know your people, they've known for a while, and nobody asked them to figure that out. 5. The faster learner you never noticed. Here's the one that genuinely stopped me when I read it. In 2024, Sao Takagi and her team at Azabu University in Japan published research in Scientific Reports testing whether cats could form connections between spoken words and images, the foundational ability behind word learning. They showed cats 2 images, each paired with a made-up word. Then they switched the pairings. If the cats had formed a real association, they'd stare longer when something didn't match. They did. Every time. The number that floored me, cats needed just 2 exposures, 9 seconds each, to form those associations. Human babies at 14 months typically need 4 exposures and 7 repetitions per session to reach the same point. Cats learned faster. Takagi put it plainly. Cats pay attention to what we say in everyday life and try to understand us far more than we ever realized. They're not waiting for training sessions. They're listening to your conversations, absorbing your patterns, making connections on their own, without rewards, without being asked. Not every cat is equally attentive and personality varies, but the capacity is there, in all of them. It has always been there. They've been learning from you since the day they moved in. You just didn't know you were teaching them. 6. The invitation they've been deciding whether to accept. You're on the couch. Your cat is across the room doing that thing where they seem deliberately unaware of your existence. You say, "Come here." And after a pause, sometimes a long one, they get up and walk over. Most people chalk it up to coincidence. But that walk isn't random. It's built from every single time those words led somewhere worth going. Every time "come here" meant affection instead of a carrier. Every time it ended with them warm against you instead of in the bathtub. That walk is accumulated history. Trust built moment by moment, without either of you fully realizing it was happening. A 2019 study from Oregon State University found that 65% of cats form secure attachment bonds with their owners, the same type measured between human infants and their caregivers. Not a similar bond, the same one with the same behavioral markers. So when your cat hears those words and chooses to walk toward you, they're not performing. They're communicating something they have no other way to say. Every time I've come to you before, it was worth it. That's not a small thing. 7. The voice they'd know anywhere. Here's what I've been building toward. It's not just the words, it's you. In 2022, Charlotte de Mouzon and her team at the Université Paris-Nanterre ran experiments where cats heard their owner's voice and a stranger's voice, both saying the same phrases, both using the same warm tone. When the stranger spoke, the cats barely reacted. When their own owner's voice came through, saying the exact same words, everything changed. Ears forward, body shifting, full attention, same words, same tone, different person, completely different response. Your cat hasn't just learned a vocabulary, they've learned your vocabulary, the specific sound of your voice when it's meant for them, the pitch you shift without realizing it, the rhythm of how you talk to them versus everyone else. They built a private language around you, and they are the only ones fluent in it. A stranger using all the right words still lands differently. Because it was never really about getting the words right. It was about who was speaking. Your cat is somewhere nearby right now, and if you said something, anything, in that voice you only use for them, they already know it's you. They've known it for longer than you've been paying attention. And honestly, that's the part that gets me every time. Your cat heard the word treat